Hello, I'm Joel Spreadborough for the Finance News Network, and joining me from Orinoco Gold is Managing Director Mark Parpendiek. Mark, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Following shareholder backing, Orinoco Resources and Strickland Resources have just created Orinoco Gold. What prompted the deal?
Okay, Orinoco was a privately held company for the last 12 months that myself and two Brazilian geologists founded. So Corral de Pedra is our key project, which we'll talk about in a tick. And it's a project that we'd advanced as far as we could privately to a drill ready stage. So the deal with Strickland Resources, which is, as you say, is now renamed Orinoco Gold, was really all about getting Orinoco Resources listed as quickly as possible. So we now, the management of Orinoco Resources, are now the management of Orinoco Gold. John Hannaford, who was previously the chairman of Strickland Resources, remains the chairman of Orinoco Gold. But for all intents and purposes, Orinoco Gold is now a company which is a single project focus, which is Corral de Pedra, which is our high-grade gold project in Brazil.
Could you detail for us how the company is now structured and the experience you have on the team?
As a result of, or post-October 25, when the shareholder approval took place, Orinoco now has 62 million shares on issue. And the team's a really critical part, of course, of who we are. Marcelo Gicarvalho is our country manager and exploration manager. He comes to us out of Yamana Gold, a $15 billion Canadian listed company where he was responsible for generating new projects for them for the last 5-6 years. Dr. Klaus Peterson is a geologist who's spent the last 25 years, he's a Brazilian geologist, spent the last 25 years in Brazil. He understands the gold projects and the gold deposits in this state very, very well, having spent a lot of time studying the Anglo's Serra Grande mine. And myself, Klaus and I have actually worked together for the last 6 years in Brazil. I was previously one of the co-founders and the MD of Centaurus Resources, which is now Centaurus Metals.
So the newly formed Orinoco Gold Company has decided to focus in Brazil. What attracted you to working in South America?
Yeah, as I said, look, we've got a background in Brazil, so I've personally been working in Brazil with another listed company which we started, Klaus and I started as co-founders a couple of, 6-7 years ago now. So Brazil's somewhere that I've spent most of my, in fact all of my previous 6 years in, and again my other two key execs are both Brazilians as well. And look, we like Brazil because the sovereign risk is very low there, political risk is very low, and I think when you combine those two factors with the fact that it's just such a prospective country. It's actually larger than Australia. It's 10% larger than Australia is, and it's much less explored than Australia is too. So the project that we have, our Corral de Pedra project, is actually one that we've discovered, so to speak, from a bunch of old workings. The Portuguese, back in colonial times, actually mined some of the soft rock there, the oxide zone. So the point is that in Brazil you're actually still finding deposits by tripping over them, as opposed to the undercover exploration that's probably predominant in Australia now. So sovereign risk, political risk, plus the fact that the prospectivity is so high in Brazil.
Your flagship is the Corral de Pedra project. What is the perspective for, and why do you think the market has reacted so positively to the combination of your team and this project?
Look, Corral de Pedra is probably a unique project in that it's, as I said before, it's actually got some old workings on it. When I say some old workings, very extensive old workings, and old being 300 years old from the Portuguese times there. So the Portuguese, we believe, pulled out the oxide zone or some of the soft rock, but we also believe from the work that we've done so far, we actually proved that they've left a whole lot of gold behind. So it's particularly high-grade gold, which means that each drill hole that we put in the ground that continues the down dip extent or the along strike extent actually has the potential to add significant ounces to the economic potential of the project. At the moment we're in the middle of a 6,000 metre diamond drilling campaign. We reported to the market this morning that we've actually intercepted in our deepest hole to date, which is only 154 metres deep. We've actually intersected the structure that hosts this gold. It's very structurally controlled, and there's visible gold in the drill core. So I think the combination of the fact that this is a project that has a very high grade, as proven by the visible gold that we've seen in the drill core and the channel sample results from the underground workings. There are quite extensive underground workings there. I think that's got the market excited, and they can see that the size extent of this thing too. In the region we operate in, Yamana have some large mines, the Anglo Gold have a very large mine in the region, and they're all on these same structures that we're exploring on. So regionally we know that these structures do host very large gold mines, and I think the market's starting to see from our exploration results to date, including the drilling, that we potentially have something that's sitting on a very similar structure to those very large gold mines.
You seem to have rapidly produced some pretty encouraging results. How have you achieved this?
There's probably two key things that have led to us being able to have such advanced and rapid news flow to the market. And I think Firstly, it's because we actually did hold this asset privately for a while, so we actually did a whole lot of work on it, which enabled us to, after shareholder approval of the backdoor listing of Orinoco, it actually enabled us to get stuck into exploration and drilling straight away. So the fact that we'd actually done a whole lot of work privately, we're actually bringing an advanced project to market, not a greenfields exploration play. This is a very advanced, almost resource definition type play. So I think that's the first thing. The second thing is that we actually have a great team of Brazilian geologists, some of which I've worked with before, some of which Klaus have worked with before. So again, we've hit the ground running. We have a network in country in Brazil. Our partner in the project, we actually own a 70% stake in the Coral de Pedra project. Our 30% partner is actually the managing director of Servotec, which is the second largest drill company in Brazil. So, for example, relationships like that allow us to get access very quickly to drill rigs and drill crews. But as I said, essentially the key thing there, I think, is that we actually do have a very large network of people, from laboratories for assays to geologists to drill companies, that allow us to actually hit the ground very, very quickly.
Finally, Mark, we'll turn briefly to your financials. Shareholders have only recently ratified the partnership to create Orinoco Gold. What's your current cash position and what is your exploration budget over the coming year?
Yeah, currently, when we concluded the deal at the end of October, we had about 4.7 million in cash, which is enough to fund us for the next 2 years of exploration that we have planned. Currently, the exploration program that we have underway at the moment is budgeted at about $1.5 million. And as I said, that's including 6,000 metres of diamond drilling and quite an extensive regional exploration program as well. But the key thing really is that the money we have in the bank right now is enough to see us meet additional project payments that we must make to retain the project we currently have, in addition to drilling not only this campaign, but we've actually got another 6,000 metres of diamond drilling planned for early next year as well. So 4.7 million is sufficient to fund us for the remainder of, at least for the remainder of 2013.
Mark Parpendiek, thank you for the introduction to Orinoco Gold.
Thanks for having me.